to another episode of Dear Man. Um, I think it's been 2 weeks since we had a live session, and it's always good to be back. Last week we were in Arizona, and so we just had a playback here, a playback of one of the previous ones. Always good to come your way. Today I'm alone because the kids have another tournament as we speak, and so Prissy had to take one person to his tournament, and then I had to take the other one to um his tournament as well. So we split. I mean, in different parts of the states. So yeah, always good to come your way. As usual, you join us. Let us know you here. Shoot a hello, shoot a hi, and go out there and share the feed with your family and friends, and then we can get going. So it's gonna be a brief one, maybe. Yeah, but would definitely go the full length, but I would want to know your thoughts on whatever we're gonna share, so that we can have a good time. Now, today I'm gonna share shortly about decisions. Yep. Um, so it is one thing we can never run away from. One thing we can never do without, right? So it is believed that on the average, um a person makes over 35,000 decisions a day. It sounded quite high to me. But hey, whether you like it or not, you seen a lot of things, things come your way, you taking decisions on them, some of them you actually don't take decisions on them, and it's actually a decision not to take a decision, right? So um almost every moment of our lives there is a decision to take or a decision not to be taken, and they all um come together to play out in whatever kind of life we're going to have, right? So um these are things that, again, would always be a part of life. Now, given that, so let's assume that we even watered that down. So the 35,000, let's say that it's realistically even 100 decisions in a day. And that is a very conservative figure, but let's go with that for intents and purposes. Let's assume that we only make 100 decisions a day. Now, that actually means, and these could be linked to trivial decisions like what you would wear, what shoe you wear, what dress you wear, what you're going to eat, what time you should even wake up from bed, what if you should call off work today, what every single you driving, should you go left, should you use this exit, should you use the next exit, why, what do you want to which restaurant do you want to go, so many decisions, right? Should you call someone, should you not call someone, someone is calling you, do you pick up, do you not pick up, and so on and so forth. Now, assuming we even make just 100 decisions a day, that is huge. I mean, that's 100 different ways our lives could go. Because assuming there are two options for each decision we're going to take, then that is, I mean, if you do the matrix or the try to project how many different ways you could actually um, direct your life, then that is staggering, right? So, um, with those 100 decisions, chances are that we're going to take some wrong ones. We always hope to take the right decisions and so on and so forth, but it always doesn't end up how we want them because obviously we don't know the future, right? It's only God that knows the future. And so we usually take decisions based on the information available to us, what we feel is the right call given whatever the conditions are or the situation is, right? So um out of those 100 watered down decisions, there is a huge probability that you get um a chunk of them wrong, right? You could get 10%, you could get 20%, you could even get 90% of your decisions wrong. I mean, what it just means is that the information available to you or the analysis, whatever analysis you're doing before taking the decision is flawed, right? And so your decisions will definitely be flawed because that's the foundation on which you're taking the decision. Now, so let's assume that yeah, you even get half of those decisions correct. That's 50 decisions that go wrong. Now that could spell your life going in a way you never determined for it to go, right? Now, what I really want to focus on today is when decisions don't go right. If you take decisions and it goes right, everyone, it becomes business as usual. Everyone takes it as, oh, yeah, it's the right thing to do, right? But it is not a given that decisions would go right. Yeah. So if you take a decision and the results is not what you particularly wanted, most times people feel a certain inertia, right? There is that heaviness in being able to make a U-turn. Not everyone seems to be able to just make a U-turn immediately and say that, hey, I made this decision, it doesn't look good, and the way forward is to make that U-turn. Because the truth is that let's say that you're driving on a highway and you take a wrong exit, depending on the kind of speed you're going, your best bet is actually to find the next route that gets you back to the right path, right? Because if you leave that wrong decision to fester and you continue in the path of that wrong decision, chances are that you will end up on the right route um, in some time. But 9 out of 10 times, you would keep going on that wrong path, and there wouldn't be any form of recourse to get you to your original path. And so, what I really want to stress on is, in as much as we expect that most of our decisions will be correct, or we think that we are good at taking the right decisions, and so on and so forth, when you do your analysis and you realize that you are on the wrong path, try your best to make a U-turn. If there is no U-turn, I mean, based on whatever decision is what it was, if there is no U-turn to get you back on the right path, find the nearest path that gets you back on track. Because if you, I don't know if it is for um a sense of pride or whatever, and you don't correct course, you might end up in a place that you wouldn't be happy with, right? And so the goal here is that if you do your analysis after a decision has been taken and you realize that no, this is not what I thought, or this is not what will lead me to the right path, then I think that it would be good to course correct, right? And not keep going and going and going in that wrong direction. And this decision could be trivial one, so trivial, all the way to very important life defining decisions, right? And so, no matter what it is always best to do all your analysis, do all your information gathering, make sure that you are actually taking the right decision from the get go. But again, this is life. You don't have um, it always going perfect, right? And so, if at a point you realize that you have made a wrong decision, then find a way to quickly course correct. Now, um, because life is so complex, there are decisions that cannot be, or there are decisions whose impact cannot be undone, right? So, based on what it is, if something happens, you make a wrong choice, and you end up, for example, with a baby with someone you shouldn't have with, you cannot undo it, right? And so, in such a situation, it is analogous to um um or it can be compared, maybe analogous is the wrong expression. It can be compared to you taking an exit, and there is no way to actually do a U-turn. So what you actually do is to check where you are at the moment and figure out how best can I get on the right path from where I am, right? Because in fact, there are some of the decisions you take them, and that is it. It's gone. You don't have the opportunity to make a U-turn. You can only keep moving forward and be steering yourself towards the right path as you go. And so, depending on what it is, you will need to either look at, okay, what's the way forward from here? But the way forward should be targeted to getting you back on course, or as close as possible to the course you were originally on. Because again, there are some of them, no matter how you course correct, you cannot get back to the original path on which you were. Like, yeah, if it's done, like the example of having a kid that with someone that wasn't supposed to be, you would agree with me that when that kid arrives in the world, there is no way to undo that, right? So for all your life, that is going to stay with you. So all you need to figure out there is, okay, how close to my original goals can I be from here, or how close to my original path could I be on from here, right? So um these are, again, things that we can never do away with. Whether we like it or not, they will always stay with us. And so that's why it's imperative to be so conscious of the decisions you take. Don't just casually take them, right? Because some of them have grave impacts on your life and on the lives of others that surround you. So, yeah, I think that, again, the key thing I'm dwelling on here is that when that mistake is made, when that wrong decision is taken, when that wrong path is chosen, learn to quickly get back on the right path. Learn to quickly get back to where you were, or as close as possible to where you're supposed to be. And that is something we should learn to do in every single moment of our lives, right? Because again, like we have mentioned, as per all those studies, over 35,000 decisions in a day for an average person. So that is about it. If you in a relationship, you feel that you are gradually moving in the wrong direction, it's best to look at how quickly you can get back. Or if you think that you entered the wrong relationship, yes, quickly course correct. Because again, um, we enter into relationships with up whatever. I mean, with certain um, parameters in mind, right? Certain variables. We feel that okay, this is what I've seen about the person, and this is why I think I want to pursue the person. And so, if you end up in a situation where you realize that, oh, you saw wrong, then yeah, why not discuss that? And you guys, if you really feel that the best way to course correct is to go your separate ways, I mean, why not? You wouldn't want to keep going on that wrong path till a point where it's too late to get back on course. Because think about it, say you driving from where point A to point B, and you took a wrong detour on at exit C, and you keep driving all the way and it lands you at point Y. Uh, At a point when you look back, going from Y back to A or going from Y back to B might look like the most impossible thing to do, right? It might look like, yeah, you've gone too far off where you were. And so you would always want to be conscious of that. You would always want to assess where your decisions are taking you. You would always want to immediately, as soon as possible, make that course correction to get you back on the right path. Because again, if you take everyone's life, we are just a sum of all the decisions we take. Think about it. The friends you have today from your high school was just because of the decision to go to a particular high school. What you're doing today was just the decision on what you decided to pursue as a career, right? Even the clothes you are wearing today is as a decision of, it's as a result of what you decided to wear. So uh, every facet of our lives become what it is just because of all the decisions we decide to take in life. And so um this should really be a key guiding principle to us in whatever we do, and decide to let um that um be so close to us, so that again the good again, when you make the good decisions and all, it is business as usual. I mean, people will hardly even praise you for taking the right decision, right? And so it's assumed that you would always get it right. But when things go south, then it looks like, oh, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. But then, I mean, it's life. You take decisions and you move on. So, um, I don't know where you are in your life, what kind of decision you've taken that you feel is not giving you the intended results. Just analyze, assess it, and quickly, I mean, make that move to course correct. Analyze, check what else can you do to come back on the right path, and then keep going. Because again, we are humans. When you watch football, it's however. teams end up, however games end up, is mainly as a result of decision taken by the players. So when they are growing up and in the game and all, the managers try to, yeah, create scenarios, figure out what they need to do at a point. But in the long run, it is the choice of the player. It is the decisions that the player takes that ends up winning a game or not, right? If someone has an opportunity to put in a through pass and is thinking, oh, maybe let me dribble one or two more players and the ball is taken from the person, then it's that chance wouldn't be created because someone took a decision. And in the same vein, if the person decides to give that through pass and someone makes a run, gets to score, that goal or being able to score was just a result of that decision that the person decided to take, right? So um, it's something we always have to live with, and so we really have to be conscious of that and make sure that we always, to the best of our ability, taking the right decision, or to the best of our ability, doing what we feel is the right thing to do based on all the information we have available to us, because it's those inputs that we can use to make decisions, right? I mean, and if you also see all the sometimes when I have kept saying that we take decisions based on the information we have available to us, but it is also not always so, because again, life is super complex, right? And there are various reasons that people decide to take one decision or the other. So think about it. Someone can decide to take a decision not necessarily based on the available information. Say all the information is pointing to decision A, but the person is also deciding to go with decision B, right? And this could be due to a lot of things. It could just be purely emotions, purely the person's biases, and so on and so forth, right? So it's not always a given that people would choose to do something based on all the available information. Sometimes you can have all the information, you know that, oh, based on ABC, this is what you're supposed to choose, or this is what you're supposed to go with. But again, life, as complex as it is, and with all the dynamics in life, all the emotions you have to go through, so people can decide to go for a decision or go for a choice which is not data driven. It's not based on any good information. It's just based on pure guts, or or it's based on pure biases or whatever um emotions we feeling at that point in time. So in summary, decisions are very, very, very important. We can't do without them. We will keep making them till the day we die. And whether we like it or not, all these pieces of decisions that we need to take is what ends up shaping our lives, what ends up defining our lives. And so these are things that we can't just take for granted. These are things that we cannot just defer to someone, right? I mean, there are people who would always depend on someone to decide their next move in life. And if that happens, if that is the case, then all you're doing is you deferring your life to someone else to live for you, right? Because again, these decisions are what shape our lives, right? So If you are at a point and you're always looking up to someone to help you um take decisions, and I'm not in any way saying that it's bad to have someone help you take decisions. All you need to do is to get someone who is well informed to at least give guidance and not necessarily take that decision for you, right? So if you have someone who has been through life, has experienced it all, then you get a lot of value speaking to the person and understanding what you should do in a certain scenario. But regardless, the final decision rests upon you. You need to take it. You need to go for it. You need to um, make the last shot, right? So um, you can always find people who have valuable inputs to give you, but you can't defer decisions to people to take for you, right? Because at the end of the day, again, it is your life. You need to be responsible for your life. You need to be the one taking charge of your life, because at the end of the day, you cannot go say that, oh, but it was this person that asked me to do it, or that person asked me to do it. In effect, all you are saying is that you are not responsible enough to take decisions on your own or make choices on your own, and so on and so forth, right? So we should own it. We should, and again, not everything you decide on or not every choice you make will go well. You are human. You have biases, right? And you might be blind to some things. So what it means in effect is that some decisions will end with unfavorable results. But then, hey, figure out how to quickly course correct and then get back and keep going. Because again, life is complex, right? So, but you need to figure out a way to navigate it, right? So don't waste too much time on making U-turns. Don't waste too much time on getting back on course, right? So um that's all I have for you today. Um I think next week, I don't know if there's another tournament. I'll need to check the schedule, but based on what it is, we have exciting news on our basement project. So we got to complete it. So it's, as of now, it's about 99.99% complete. And so the next time we home doing DFN, we'll definitely show you where we are now, where we were, where we started from all through till now. And the big thing about it is Prissy really did so well on the finishing part of it. So she, at a point, she took over the painting and everything, and she did a great job. So you would see all that she was able to do when we come across with that. So it was good coming your way as usual, and really appreciate your audience, and you don't take it for granted at all. So always remember that no two relationships are the same. Thank you. Cheers. And it's bye for now. So it's a decision to still stay on, right? So till we have Sammy take me off.